Hi, my name is Ellen Anderson, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial for ResinObsession on how to basically mix your resin safely and how to safely use a torch to make sure you have no bubbles and allow it to cure. So now I'm going to pan the camera down so you can see exactly what products you'll need and the process of how to do this. We prepared a fluid latex painting. I have a few other things thrown in there. What you're going to need are, you'll need some mixing cups like I have over there. I like to get the mixing cups from either Home Depot or Lowe's with exact measurements because it's very important in your resin pouring to have exact measurements. You'll need 2-part epoxy resin. 1 part's the epoxy resin and 1 part's the clear epoxy hardener. You'll need some stirring sticks of some sort. I like to use tongue depressors. You'll need a mini torch. You'll need some non-latex gloves. Safety first. And just to add a safety disclaimer, guys, you're going to be messing with fire and chemicals in this, so you really need to keep in mind safety. In here. If you do get any resin on you, it's very sticky stuff, I recommend using just simple gel hand sanitizer. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to move my painting so I can show you the mixing process. Alrighty, so first we take our clear epoxy hardener, and this stuff is going to be more viscous, a little more swishy than our actual epoxy. And you can use a calculator that you can find online to determine exactly how much resin your surface area needs. I just like to eyeball it. So pour a bit of that in there, and then you pour the exact same amount of your clear epoxy, which is a more gooey consistency, into your other cup. Sometimes it can be a bit harder to pour the exact same amount of this one because it pours in a very odd way. Okay, let's make sure they're perfectly the same. And I normally like to pour my hardener, which is more viscous, like I said, straight into my epoxy resin, which you see is more sticky and heavy. Make sure you get every drop you can. So, if you want to be able to reuse your mixing cups, I do a few shots of my gel alcohol, then take a painter's cloth, old t-shirt you've cut up, whatever, swirl it up in there and clean up that hardener, and voila. Alright, now it's very important to mix this until you don't see any of this haziness anymore. Bubbles are okay, we're going to get those out with the torch later, but you probably need, for this amount, it depends on the amount you're mixing, probably I'd say 2 to 3 minutes of consistent mixing, and you need to scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, make sure you're getting every last little drop so you don't have parts that don't cure properly. See how hazy it is now? You don't want that. Oh, and also let me mention from a safety perspective, if you're a girl or a guy with long hair, please put your hair up. Nobody likes resin in their hair or when they're messing with their torch for their hair to light on fire. So I like to, after I get my resin all mixed and all of the haziness out, just let it sit, let some of the bubbles rise to the surface. Not for long, just about a minute. A lot of bubbles, but this is what your resin should look like. No hazy streaks, it's all consistent. Okay, so let me move my painting back into focus. Check that we're good there. Take our resin, and I like to just start in the middle, pouring on top of the painting directly. Let it spread. The bubbles are okay, like I said, we're gonna get all those out. Okay. The best way to reuse these is honestly to leave some popsicle sticks in there and collect the extra resin, lean it up against something. The resin's cured completely, you can just pull it right out. So, then we're going to take a popsicle stick, make sure it's spread across our entire painting. That's pretty much all you have to do on that part. I like to take my gloves off for the torching part because A, if you end up somehow burning your gloves, it'll melt into your skin. Not a good idea. And also, nobody likes a torch full of resin. So anyway, take the safety off my torch. Turn on my gas, and we're just going to pop our bubbles. Quickly move your torch over your resin surface just to pop the bubbles. We don't want to burn our resin, and that is totally possible. But for a clear coat, we just want to quickly go back and forth with our torch, get our edges a little bit. Then another quick pass, and voila. Turn off your propane, put the safety back on your torch. Alright, so here's my painting. You can see the reflection of my big ceiling light up there. Good clear surface cast. No bubbles. I know it's hard to see in this lighting. But that's what we're going for. Alright guys, hope this video helped, and I'm free to answer any questions I can when I have the time. Again, I'm Ellen Anderson, and this was for ResinObsession, our first tutorial video on safety and the use of epoxy resin for a clear coat. Thank you.